Hi, I'm Rachel and welcome to It's Your Move. Hello and welcome to the It's Your Move session, a session designed to help you get ready for your big move to secondary school. In this session, we hope we're going to have loads of fun together. There's going to be some activities, there's going to be some games, some questions, some time to think through things and a story. But first of all, I want you to think about this question. How are you feeling about your move to secondary school? And I want to give yourself a score. So I'm going to give you a scale. So 10 is up here. 10 is where you're feeling excited, you can't wait, and you're feeling pretty confident about your move to secondary school. Number 1 is down here where you're feeling anxious, worried, and you're not so sure about the move. Where on that scale would you put yourself, number 1 to 10? Choose your score now. I wonder which score you gave yourself. Maybe it was a 7 or a 5 or maybe a 3 or even a 1. It doesn't matter where on the scale you put yourself. Your feelings are important and that's how you feel. Some of you are going to be feeling a lot more confident about moving up to secondary school. Perhaps you have an older brother or a sister there already, or maybe you're so lucky that you get to move with a big group of friends from your primary school. For others, you're a little bit more scared. Maybe you're the only one going from your school to secondary school. I want you to remember your score because you're going to need it later on in this session. I'm sure that everyone's got something that they're scared about. Maybe you're scared about the dark. For me, I'm scared of birds. I can't stand them. They flap around you, they look at you with their little eyes, and I'm sure they're always going to want to attack me. Now, if that fear grows, it can sometimes turn into a phobia. And we're going to play a game with you now about phobias. I'm going to name 3 phobias, and I'm going to give you 3 options for you to guess what those phobias might be. Are you ready? So the first phobia I've got for you is arachnophobia. Arachnophobia. What do you think that might be? Is it a fear of arches, a fear of coats, or a fear of spiders? What do you think? And the answer is fear of spiders. Now I think most people are scared of spiders. Here's a second one for you. Cyclophobia. Cyclophobia. Is that a fear of circuses, a fear of circles, or a fear of bicycles? What do you think? And the answer is a fear of bicycles. I didn't even know that. Now the third one I've got for you is a very long word and quite difficult to say, and I've had to write it down so that I get it right. So excuse me while I take a little look, okay? Are you ready? Sesquippedalophobia. Sesquippedalophobia. Now, is that a fear of trees, a fear of squids, or a fear of big, long words? What do you think? And the answer to that was, it's a fear of long words. Why would you give the fear of long words a really long word? Who knows? Now we're going to be looking a little bit more at worries in the session, and it's fine and natural for you to feel worried or a bit apprehensive about your move up to secondary school. So for this next activity, I'm going to need you to stand up. That's it, get up, get moving a little bit and get ready for this activity. We asked a load of children who've been in the same situation as you, moving up to secondary school, what were some of the things that they were really worried about. And from that, we got a list of 6 of them. So I'm going to read them out one by one to you, and I want you to think about the way that you feel about those. Do they make you worry? Now, if they make you worry a lot, I want you to put your hands on your hips. Now, if they make you feel maybe a little bit worried but not too worried, you can just fold your arms in front of you like this. Some of them, I say, you might not feel worried about at all. So if that's you, you put your hands up in the air like this. Let's go over that one more time. Hands on hips if you're very scared or very worried about that situation. Hands folded in front of you if you're a little bit worried but not too worried. And then hands up in the air if you're not worried about that situation at all. You got it? Oh, and one more thing. I need you all now to close your eyes because you don't need to see what anyone else is thinking or saying. This is purely for you to think about the way you are feeling. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes now. And I'm coming to check to make sure that you've all closed your eyes. To a couple of you over there. Everyone close their eyes. Okay, I think we're okay now. Number 1, travelling to school. Travelling there and travelling home. How does that make you feel? The second one was getting lost. Getting lost inside a new school building. How worried does that make you feel? The third one, homework. For some of you, you might not have had homework before. How does that make you feel? Number 4, teachers. You are going to have to get to know a lot of new teachers. How do you feel? Number 5, being the youngest. How do you feel? And the last one, friends. Making new friends. How do you feel about that? We're now going to hear from 3 pupils who've been in the same situation as you, moving up to secondary school. And they're going to share with you a bit about their fears and their worries, but also how those worries disappeared.
At first I was quite worried about making friends, but in the end it was fine because there were lots of activities that you could interact with others and it was fine. That's how I made friends.
Moving into year 7 was a bit of a panic because we had to move around classrooms but the teachers helped us by telling us where the classrooms were and what numbers they had on them.
I was most anxious about homework, but it did work out because the teachers didn't give us as much homework at the beginning of the year, so we got used to having homework.
So with moving up to secondary school, there will be some new skills that you'll have to learn, and one of those skills might be learning to tie a tie. Now we've got some experts here to show you how to do it. Take a look at this video.
This is how not to tie your tie.
This is also not how to tie a tie.
But this is how you tie your tie. First you get the big end and put it over the small end. Then you wrap it round again so you have a flat part here. And then you put it through the hole here so it goes over the flat end. And then you have the flat end so it has a hole through here, and then you put the big part of the tie through there, and then you pull up the small end of the tie, and then you put it in your jumper so you and then that's how you tie a tie.
Okay, that might have gone a bit too fast. Watch it again. So for this game, I'm going to need 4 volunteers to come up to the front. I'm going to let your teachers decide who those are going to be. And the rest of the class are going to be given the opportunity to mark those 4 out of 10. Now the competition is how fast can you tie your tie. The marking can be for how fast it is, but it also can be for how long is the tie. Is it neat? Does it look good enough? I'll let you decide on how you mark and score in your class, and we'll see who wins. So I hope you really enjoyed that game. I did.
I would say the best way to make friends is to just go up to people and have a chat with them.
I think the best way to make friends at school is to do one of your school's clubs, like football club, and see if you can get paired up with the person you're trying to make friends with.
I think that the best way to make friends is just to be yourself and to not pretend to be something that you're not.
Now we're going to get some more top tips read out to you by some pupils from the brilliant book by Scripture Union called It's Your Move. Take a look at this.
Equipment. You'll likely have a set of things that you're expected to bring to school every day, like pens and books. The best thing that you can do is to write yourself a daily checklist, pack your bag the night before, then double check it in the morning before you leave.
Rules. Your school will have its own set of rules that you are expected to follow, so find out what they are and stick to them.
Clubs. There will be plenty of clubs at your new school, either at lunchtime or after school. These will be your chance to play more sport, learn a musical instrument, or develop other interests. And this can be a great way to meet new people.
Be you. We are all unique for a reason. There is something you have to offer the world that no one else has. Work to improve yourself, but do it because you want to be the best version of you, not a copy of someone else.
So far we've looked at the things that we might be a bit scared about, a bit worried about. We've looked at surviving secondary school. Now we want you to look at how you're going to thrive in secondary school. What are some of the things that you are so excited about with your move up to secondary school? Why don't you think about that now and share it with some of the people around you? Maybe you're excited about making new friends. Maybe it's trying new subjects like history or art or music. Take some time to talk about them with your friends now. Secondary school is an amazing opportunity for you to try out new things. Of course, it isn't always certain that life is going to be easy for us, and we are going to have difficult things happen to us at times in our lives. We're going to have a story now, and it's a story from the Bible. It's about Jesus and his friends, which we refer to as the disciples, and they're out in a boat on the lake when a storm comes. Why don't you take a look at this video, listen to the story, and think about how you would feel as Jesus' friends in that boat.
Imagine you're one of Jesus' disciples. You're all gathered by the shores of Lake Galilee. The sun beats down, it's a hot and humid day. Flies buzz lazily round your head. You swat them away, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. Some of the disciples are laughing and joking around you, standing in the shallows of the lake and splashing each other. Smiling at his friends who are now soaked through, Jesus walks up to the boat. "Let's cross over to the other side," he says. Well, people clamber in. The disciples in the water stop messing around and start to push the boat out before jumping in themselves. It's no less humid on the lake, and you let your hand drag in the cool water. Looking over the side, you can see the odd fish swimming here and there. The heat seems to have affected them too, they're swimming so slowly. Some of the disciples are still laughing about the water fight and trying to dry themselves off in the sun. You look up to the sky again. It's clear up above, but over in the distance, dark clouds are gathering. You point it out to the others. Some of them don't seem worried. Matthew laughs when you mention it, but then he used to be a tax collector, so what does he know about the lake? But the ones who have fished on this lake for years look worried. They point at the dark clouds, getting closer, and mutter amongst themselves. You turn to see what Jesus thinks. but he has stretched out at the back of the boat and fallen asleep. A breeze gets up, and suddenly the sun doesn't seem as hot. The boat begins to pitch a little, and a cup topples off a bench and onto the floor of the boat. Then wind fills the sails and the boat rocks more sharply. You have to hold onto the side to stop yourself from falling off your seat. Well, the fishermen look nervously up at the darkening sky and talk about what to do. The boat is now rolling quite violently and it's started to rain. Well, they rush about the boat, pulling on ropes and winding in sails and strapping down loose baggage. You notice that Jesus is still asleep. Well, you think about waking him, but the fishermen seem to be getting everything under control. Matthew, though, has started to panic. Well, suddenly, a huge wave hits the boat and water rushes over the side. You cling onto the side of the boat and desperately try to stop yourself from being swept overboard. Another wave breaks and Matthew is thrown against you. He grabs onto your arm to steady himself and almost causes both of you to fall into the water. He's screaming in your ear. In fact, everyone is screaming, including you. Well, this is it. You're all going to die. Well, somebody tries to wake up Jesus because he's still asleep. Well, Matthew rushes at him. Master, Master, we will drown, he shouts. Well, Jesus looks at him, gets up and simply tells the wind and the rain to stop. Suddenly, everything becomes calm. Well, you look at the others in the boat. You're confused. Well, they're confused. Who is this, someone says? Who is this that commands the wind and the water? And they obey him.
Wow, what an amazing story. I wonder how the disciples felt when Jesus did that in the boat. And I wonder what they learnt about Jesus from that whole experience. Why don't we look at those two questions together now with those around you? How do you think the disciples felt in that boat? And what did they learn about Jesus from that experience? You know, Christians believe that Jesus is with them in every situation of their lives. So even when your life is going really, really great, Jesus is there. When it's going not so great, Jesus is there. We're going to take a look at the students from earlier who are going to share a little bit with you about how knowing Jesus and being friends with Jesus made a difference to them when they moved up to secondary school.
My faith has really helped me so that when I'm worrying about homework or detentions, I just know that God is always with me and he can take care of all of that.
My faith has helped me because my family have been praying for me.
My faith has helped me because when I'm in my lessons, I know I'm not alone.
Well, I really hope that you've enjoyed the session today, and I really hope that it's helped you get ready for your move to secondary school. Do you remember that story about Jesus and his friends in the boat and the difference having Jesus there with them made? Well, I believe that Jesus can make that difference in our lives today. I want to tell you a story about when I started secondary school. I came from a very small primary school. There were only 7 in my year when I was in year 6. And out of that 7, I was the only girl. So going up to secondary school for me was really scary because I didn't know any other girls up there and I wasn't sure how I was going to make any friends. But my mum, my family, people in my church and people around me prayed for me that when I moved up to secondary school, I would make some friends. And I knew that Jesus had gone before me and that Jesus was with me on that first day of going into secondary school. And it didn't stop me from being scared. It didn't stop me from worrying, but I knew that Jesus was with me in that time. And you know what? I made friends. It didn't come easy, but it happened over time and I'm still friends with them today. So Jesus can make a massive difference to our lives if we want him and if we ask him to. So I'm going to say a prayer now for us. And if you want to make it a prayer for yourself, just say Amen at the end. But if you don't want to, that's also fine. Let's close our eyes and pray together. Jesus, we thank you for the opportunity of going to secondary school. We thank you for all the things that it's going to bring, the new skill sets and new friends and new opportunities. Please be with each of us as we make that move. Amen. So we're nearly at the end of the session. I hope you've had a really, really good time. But do you remember, right at the start, I asked you to remember a number? When we looked at the scale of 1 to 10 of how you were feeling about moving to secondary school, 10 was up here and you're excited and you couldn't wait, and 1 was where you were really anxious and worried. So take that number and I want you to think, has that number changed after doing this session? How do you feel? Maybe the number's gone down. I hope it hasn't. I hope this session's been more helpful. But maybe your number is the same, which is fine. Or maybe your number's gone up, which is brilliant. So what I want you to do is I want you to get up. That's it, get up. And I want you to show me what your number has done. So if your number has gone down, thumbs down. If your number has stayed the same, thumbs in the middle. If your number has gone up, put your thumbs up. So number gone down, number stayed the same, number gone up. Now, just like before, I want you to close your eyes because it's nobody else's business about your number. But I would like the teachers to keep their eyes open just to see how you're all feeling and to gauge how you're doing. Okay? So everyone shut their eyes now, please. I'm coming to check once more to make sure that you've all closed your eyes. Nearly. Yeah, okay. I think we're there. No, we are. We're there. Fab. So I'm going to count down to 3 and then I want you to show me your thumbs. So 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you so much for being a part of the session today. I hope you've had a lot of fun. If you're still worried or anxious about your move to secondary school, please speak to someone about it. You've got teachers, parents, guardians, whoever. They are there to listen to you and help support you in this move. We really hope that your move to secondary school will be a really exciting one, will be lots of fun, you'll make new friends and have amazing opportunities. Thank you.